Hi everyone, this is Art Smalley, President of Art of Lean Incorporated, and today on behalf of the Lean Enterprise Institute I have another short video for you. This is a follow-on to one I did previously. I introduced the acronym that I use in problem solving, coaching, teaching, training called A.D.P, which stands for Administration, Detection, and Prevention. I use it whenever I looked at corrective actions or countermeasures, whether they're my own or I'm critiquing somebody else's, to bucketize them and see what category they're falling into and what likelihood they have for success. So please review the previous video if you haven't seen it, but briefly, A stands for administrative countermeasures. These are the weakest. You try and administer the person, the human side of it, with training, documentation, alerts, things like that. Second, there's a detection type of countermeasure category, which is more robust. You catch it in place, detect it, catch it, jidoka in Japanese. And third is, of course, the ultimate where you want to go. Are your countermeasures getting that P category, preventive in nature, which really stop the underlying conditions and prevent this from occurring or reoccurring? And that's quite difficult, and sometimes you go through a phase. Sometimes you jump straight to the P, sometimes you aren't that lucky, or it's difficult. Now let's look at the SARS-CoV-19 crisis as an example. Okay, I just want to use the countermeasures in place, or corrective actions being proposed by various figures in authority, and show how they fit neatly into these three buckets. Okay? First off, we can start with the administrative ones. And those, of course, the ones you can do right out of the box, right immediately. Okay, you can probably think of things like hand washing, sanitizer, social distancing, maintaining gaps of 6 feet or 2 meters. 3, the masks, stopping the transmissions. Okay, this is a respiratory disease, so it can stop the transmission, limit it, to some extent. And 4, of course, the more extreme things, the shelter in place we already went through once. And quarantines go back to the Middle Ages and plagues. They're nothing new. So there is an administrative category of things being suggested and enacted, and you can see, there's some hit and miss with them. Some people follow, some people don't. It's not 100%. They're not the strongest form of countermeasures. A level up from that, of course, are detection-based ones. And if you stop and think for a second, what are detection-based ones? Well, you can think of simple things like scanning temperature, looking for that. And that's an early indicator, but it's too late. We can do the swab testing to see if you have the virus or not. You can do the blood testing to see if the antibodies are present, if you've had it or not. And there are things like wastewater treatment detection, where we can see what's occurring in the wastewater system, and that can tell whether there's a high incidence of the infection in a given community or not. Okay. So they're not ideal countermeasures, unfortunately. Those detection-based ones are the ones we currently have or see in the press, but they're not immediate. They don't stop it in its place. They're not as good as the jidoka concept that we strive for in most of these areas. And our work is still cut out there. But they can work. Detection and social contact tracing has proven effective in South Korea, Taiwan, some other places. But of course, where we want to go with this ultimately is the P category, prevention. Okay? And the things in terms of prevention that talked about somewhat, healthy immune system, being in shape. Those people are faring better, of course, the younger. This discriminates more against the aged and the people with underlying conditions, unfortunately. You want to build up your own immunities as healthy as much as you can. Third, of course, we're going for the vaccine. They're fast-tracking various vaccines, and they're hopeful that one will work and that will prevent it. In theory, if you take the vaccine and it's safe, you're prevented, like from the flu shot, the annual flu shot. And fourth, you can go into the pre-occurrence mode, or reoccurrence or pre-occurrence mode, and for that it doesn't matter whether this came out of a seafood, wet food type of market, or it came out of a laboratory. Conditions existed that allow this to come out. You'd want to get to that point of cause, point of origins, which they 100% don't have at this point in time. But what allowed that to occur, and have true recurrence preventive countermeasures that stop that underlying condition. Now, animal to human, human to human viruses mutate, and on that fundamental level you can't change it. But in this one instance, of course, you can go back and look at what transpired, hopefully, and see what allowed that and prevent that from occurring. And that's where a pre-occurrence, reoccurrence prevention strategy would also go. So I hope that acronym works and puts some sense to our chaotic daily lives here. And when it comes back to normal work and you're thinking about problem solving and coaching, please think through those categories, A.D.P, administration, detection, prevention, and seeing you're coming up with the strongest ones possible. And with that, I hope everyone stays safe and has a great week, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.